right, all right. So this is our live drawing and giveaway session. Amba, nice to see you. Matt, nice to see you.
Hello.
Very glad you guys could join us here for the stream and join me here for the stream today. So I think the whole point of this is just to hang out, have some fun, do a little drawing, let people see how the sausage is made. I guess is kind of the right the right term, but you know how we make the magic. As we're getting set up and kind of, I personally have to figure out how to stream my tablet here while we get things started. But as we do figure that out, why don't you guys just give a little brief introduction of, who you are, what you're working on, what people might see tonight, and then I might challenge you with a couple things along the way as well, and we'll go from there.
You want to go first?
Sure. Yeah, I can go first. So, hi everyone. My name is Amba. I'm in university. I'm a fourth-year student at Emily Carr University of Art and Design, 2023. What I've been working on for a year is a graphic novel that I've been writing for almost like 9 or 10 years. But it became kind of more of a real thing when I started Microverse with Evan and Adam, and it's what I've been working on for the moment. For now, it still kind of is what I'm working on. Other things about me, I'm from Vancouver. I've been here for 9-10 years. Born in New York, and I lived there for 12 years. But it is to meet you, Matt, and everyone who's going to be joining in this stream, and it's such an honor. Yeah, thank you so much.
Awesome.
That's really cool. You said you've been working on it for a year?
Yeah,
wow.
For a year, because I've been trying to in this project, and it's been kind of crazy.
You've been working on it for a year. Awesome. Wait, what's up? Matt, what's up?
Hey, what's going on?
Hi.
Hi, guys.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good.
How
what
are
an
you?
amazing day y'all had today. It's so crazy. I loved it, man. I was tuned in, so it was great.
Awesome.
Yeah,
it was really fun day.
Can't believe you're still talking.
Yes, I agree with you. But Dino Baby Matt, tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, my name is Matt. I'm the artist and co-founder of the Dino Baby project. We're kind of like a multimedia project in that our primary goal is like an animated show. I've worked in animation for over a decade now, but currently we're working on the Dino Babies in Space comic book, which is how we kind of got introduced, and we're going full steam ahead. When I say we, I'm going full steam ahead, drawing it, coloring it, everything. We'll hopefully have issue 1 done in the next week or 2. Fingers crossed.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Matt Stevens, you want to follow that?
Matt Stevens, I am Digital Pools, and probably going into our 4th year, firmly in our 3rd year. Issue 6, sorry, 5's out. 6, and just wrote the prologue, and I just finished. And then we're versus second drop, TBD, but
coming soon. Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. And Hoyt, tell us a little bit about you, man.
Yeah, I'm Hoyt Silva. I've been a comic book artist for a decade now. I've worked on all kinds of projects, properties. I've done assistant work for people for the Big Two. I've done my own projects through Kickstarter. I've done multiple webcomics, currently working on something with Macroverse as well, which I'm super excited about. So, I tell stories and with pictures, and I really love doing it. So
Good answer. Good answer. Awesome. Anything in particular that you guys are going to be drawing or sharing this evening?
Well, I thought we'd do like some kind of prompt or something. You want
I mean,
to prop us up with something there?
I got a few of those as well. Absolutely.
Okay.
But also happy to see anything personal as well, or whatever you're working on.
I have
mean, Matt,
a drawing. I had sort of
Go ahead.
ready to do a prompt, whichever direction you want to go.
Okay, awesome. Well, I thought it would be really fun, for those of you who are down to do this, to take some of the characters that have been thrown into the Discord from different collections and, kind of do a little surprise for some of these guys where, we can either all or individually pick a particular character, do an interpretation of that character, and then I will delight them by minting it and sending it to them.
Awesome.
I think that would be a pretty fun exercise. So if anybody's down for that, I'll grab some of those and share them with you. And otherwise, I would say while I get that, go ahead and just share whatever you want to share. Maybe do a little warm up for a minute, and then I'll throw some of those up as well.
Sounds awesome.
We have capabilities.
You what?
Screen. Yeah.
So I figured out how to share my iPad via. I'm using Procreate. I figured out how to do that through sharing screen and then having that kind of AirPlay to my computer. I see you, Hoyt. There you go.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Hey.
Yeah.
Sweet. I didn't know if that would. I didn't want to take over everybody's. I didn't know if that was the right
Yeah.
button. So.
That works. That works.
Okay, cool.
There's very good.
Yeah, I can start with a warm up, or we can start with one of the characters, or whatever.
Yeah, start with the warm up. I just need to grab those guys so I can share
All
them.
right.
You
All right. Let's see. What
Feel free to give a little drawing lesson while you go if you care to. Or talk about your process.
Sure. My process is super simple. I start from general to specific. So basically, I just block in major shapes and then sort of carve out of those shapes, something that resembles sort of like a person, or thing or whatever it is that I'm trying to draw. So it's pretty much that.
Very cool.
Yeah. We can just draw some dude. I've been on a kick of doing these like fantasy characters for my own project that I've been like slowly building up, and so I'll throw something in with that. We'll do some kind of high fashion fantasy character, and we'll give them some kind of cool gear here.
Love it.
And, anybody have an idea of like what kind of weapon that I put on this guy?
Ooh,
I'll take
good
it.
idea. Prompts from the audience are welcome.
Yeah. Leave that open. I can figure something else to throw in there. Should probably pull up the YouTube chat though.
Here we go.
Ivan, I have a quick question.
Yeah. So what I did is I have my iPad connected to my computer by AirPlay. So using my computer as essentially as an Apple TV. And then that lets me choose it as a screen to share once that's connected.
Okay.
I don't know if that helps, but that's what I was able to do. Or the other option might be if you're on, if you're actually call into the stream from your iPad. I'm not sure that will make that easier or not. If you're on two devices.
Yeah, for me, when you hit the little settings thing, you can change your video input. I'm not sure if that works for iPad or not. But
Oh, can I do that instead of it being my thing? That would be cool. Let me see if I can.
Yeah.
That way I don't take up two screens. That would be smart.
That's interesting too. Yeah. So maybe if it's connected with a cord, maybe it'll share that as an option.
Actually doesn't let me choose my screen. It just lets me choose either my webcam or default. So
okay. Do you have OBS for streaming?
I do have OBS. I can try to.
I think
Run
if
that,
you
I
like
guess.
do a virtual camera, I think that's how you can like get it to.
Perfect. Good call. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Oh my god.
This is the
Bro.
exciting part of the stream for anyone that's
Figuring it out.
Well, I'm gonna pause on that because OBS also wants to update, so I'll just keep drawing the way I'm drawing.
yeah.
now.
3 hours later.
Yeah, exactly. I forget that every time I open up any one of those streaming programs, they have a billion updates to go through. So let's run it up this way and we'll figure it out.
Matt, were you able to figure it out?
Can you guys
Trying
see
to
my screen?
Join with
Oh,
my-
other.
and do what Evan.
How did you
So-
figure out?
How did I what?
Figure out the solution on your iPad.
Were you able to get it connected in that?
I might appear twice.
Oh.
Yeah. And then let me
Let's see.
AirPlay.
I see a black screen for you.
Black, okay. It's part of the process. You do something you don't like and you just start over.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throw that one in the trash.
Almost got these characters together. Just a sec. All right. And then, Amber, you're still having no luck? You're
Yeah.
having
Okay,
no luck.
if I just shut off my camera for 1
Oh, yeah, of
second
course.
to go
Yeah,
see
that's
if-
fine. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Haha, Matt, nice.
Awesome.
Dino baby coming at you.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love the simplicity that you hit with all those dino babies, man. They're so cool.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, no problem.
My philosophy is like draw them as if they're made out of like marshmallow fluff.
That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool.
That works.
I forever have been striving for simplicity, you know, and I don't think I ever hit the level of simplicity that I seek, but I'm always searching for it. So when I see somebody else like able to just throw some sweet basic shapes and make something totally awesome out of it, I'm like, so jealous, man.
I mean,
Jealous.
I feel you. I'm always trying to push that even farther, and I still feel like I'm not there yet. I
Yeah.
want to like
My-
master the graphics and like that sensibility. But
No doubt, no doubt. And my wife always jokes that she says that what I'm after is actually just drawing stick figures. So I should just draw stick figures.
The ultimate in simplicity.
Yeah. She's just like, if you just really want to go simple, why don't you just do that?
All right. Well, I just sent an email to all of you with a batch of characters. So any of those that you guys want to choose from as well. There's a good little arrangement there.
Perfect. Don't think I've got that email yet, but let me just refresh mine.
Evan, where'd your button?
Where's what?
The AirPlay button?
So if you pull down on the control center,
Yeah.
there's a little icon that looks like two screens overlapping. I guess it's actually screen mirroring, not it's using AirPlay, but it's screen mirroring.
Oh, screen mirroring. Okay, yeah. It's not recognizing my iPad.
Oh, you know what I just realized? Sorry, this is more complicated than I thought it would be, but I have a little
One more thing.
I have a little widget called Air Server, which makes my computer recognize my iPad. I forgot about that. So my iPad thinks my computer is an Apple TV. That's basically what it does. So then you can select it as a source to share screen to.
Do you guys mostly draw on your iPad?
It's funny. I'm
100%.
sitting in front of a Cintiq, which I mostly abandoned to my to Procreate on the iPad.
Yeah, funny enough, I usually use actually the same program on my Android tablet, so it's I mostly draw on that. It's funny, there's just some things I guess that I like to do large like this, because the tablet's only like 12 inches, and then I've got a Cintiq that I'm using now that is like the old 21-inch ones, but even that much, really just, I don't know, sometimes you want to get in there
Yeah.
and see all the little things.
I will say I am going to be a sucker for whenever they come out with like a bigger iPad Pro.
Yeah.
So I would think like a 14-inch one would be pretty fantastic.
Yeah. I'm waiting for that. There's like that, I'm waiting for something that comes out in the right proportions too, right? Because I love my Android tablet because it's like a sheet of paper, like it's like a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper basically, and that's just comfortable to draw on, as if it's just like any kind of sheet of paper. But it is that sweet spot. Like I have one of these old Cintiqs because I don't like the new Cintiqs because they sort of go sideways, like they've gone the whole HD route. And since I mostly do comics, I need height, not width. So the wider they've gotten, the shorter they've gotten,
That's
so
true, yeah,
they're taking away my real estate that I actually use. So
that is funny. I never thought about that, but you're absolutely right.
yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna take one of these oddities, guys, and try my hand at what a pixelated oddity looks like in a less pixelated style.
I didn't see the email come through. Yeah, I didn't see the email come through there, Evan.
Let's see. Should be in there. Oh, there may be a good reason for that. Let's see. I may have just sent it to myself. Pretty sure that's exactly what I
thickens. Yeah.
All right, hold on. Okay, I think this should get it to all you guys. Take two. Oh, there we go, Matt. I see something of you. Matt, we've got the camera on the iPad.
I love these. Got the email. These are amazing.
Oh yeah, these are great. These are very cool.
Love this little rat guy.
Oh man, I was also looking at that cute little rat guy. All right, you got him. You called him. You can take the rat guy.
Which rat guy did you pick?
A little flame head guy. He has like
Oh
a
yeah,
roast beef body or something. I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. People who are watching.
I think I'm gonna take one of these first two here. The green guy with the 3D glasses. We'll give it that
nice.
route. Yeah.
Nice.
Wrap on this warm up.
Matt Stevens, you've already drawn zombies and Bushidos. I feel like you need an alien or a moonbird in there.
All right. I don't see what these guys' arms look like, but they strike me as skinny arm guys. So I'm gonna do these skinny arms.
They look pretty skinny arms, yeah. And but no luck from you. It's looking like, huh? I don't know if you can still hear me, but if you can, I wonder if calling into this stream directly from the browser on your iPad, I wonder if that will let you then share. Tiny wants an alien. All right, you know what, Tiny? I'll do an alien if I can figure out how to get one.
I don't know what these guys' hands look like. I don't know anything. So look like suction cup fingers is what I'm thinking here.
All right, I got a Viking guy here. Let's see.
Eben, I feel like my volume is not working.
Oh.
Are
I
you?
can hear you now.
Oh,
You're
okay,
kind
good.
of cutting in and out a little bit, but
I'm doing a moon. Let me take off my. All right. Is that better?
I can hear you loud and
good.
clear.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
I feel like somebody should put on some music or something.
Hmm.
Really, really, really inspiring. Listening to all the different projects.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
yeah,
that was one of the
it
greatest
was-
parts about the day. It was awesome.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, it's really, really fun to be able to chat with everyone. All right, here we go. Not sure whose agent this is, but here we go. Tiny, what does dirty heads mean? That doesn't sound nice. Hey, Matt, cool Moonbird.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, that's fun. That's awesome. Oh, Dirty Heads music. Got it. Oh, Lee Valor. Cool. Somebody had music on for a second. What happened? I'm afraid to put anything on because it might destroy the stream. That's my
Gotcha. I was waiting for you to do something. I was like, oh,
That's my concern is if I navigate away now, what
I
happens?
gotcha. You can't take your eye off it at all. Yeah, I gotcha.
Exactly.
Can you guys hear that okay? Does it sound atrocious over stream or?
It sounds like some ambient music going on. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a mustache or just some.
I don't think it's meant to be a mustache, but now
Now that you say it, it's all I can see. So it must
little, I mean, in the world of owls with mustaches, Greenbird dumb. He's thrown it out.
How often do you guys stream?
Stream in general, or this kind of thing?
Stream in general, I guess, or draw on stream.
Okay.
I was just gonna say I've kind of found it's definitely a difficult skill to talk while you draw.
definitely a difficult skill. I feel like I've gotten some good practice in that in conventions, sort of drawing and people walking up and asking questions and stuff.
Yeah.
I used to stream super regularly, actually. I used to be big into streaming, around 2019. And then when the pandemic hit, it would have been the greatest thing for me, and hence why I probably didn't do it, So I just decided to be alone, for whatever reason. And most recently, I've been creeping back into it. I haven't really made any major announcements that I'm doing it or whatever. I'm just sort of trying to ease into it. I think some of when I was streaming that became the difficulty was it became too much for me. You know, like I was doing way too much on the stream to the point where I was just like just streaming and not doing the work that I should have been doing as well. So
Sure.
I sort of stepped away from it for a little bit and trying to figure out how to do that, you know, how to come back into it on my own without, you know, any real huge commitment on my part. So I do it twice a week. On
Nice.
Twitch. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've done it twice.
Nice.
Once at a con.
And just once on the fly.
Was you know, I don't remember. Try it out. See what it was like sitting in my kitchen. Gear for it, so it was like iPad propped up against the candle, you know, trading cards. It was,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's how everybody starts, man. You know, my
good
first
set.
was also like basically my phone just pointed at me, you know, and just sort of setting that whole setup. Not that my setup's really complicated now. I literally just stream my screen and have the camera you guys are looking at now. So it's not nothing over the top. I enjoy it though. For like 10 years I was in a studio here in Atlanta with other artists, and that was like really nice, and you do a lot of that, you know, just sort of like talking while you work, because you know someone will just come in the room while you're working on something and just start asking you questions, or you know, like sort of just talking about whatever is on their mind, and that was really nice. And I think that's a lot of what I was bringing into doing streams and stuff. You know, like I said, I let myself get too concerned and involved with it. So
Yeah. I mean, it can be like both very motivating and very distracting. So I definitely
Yes.
get that.
The problem with my setup right this second is I can't see what you guys are doing because I've got the top down. Yeah.
I described to you the guy that I was drawing. I don't think you'd actually know what I was drawing. So
Matt, we only get to see your beautiful hand, but that's all right.
it's a very nice hand. Quality hand. Someone's got a dog.
Sorry about that, guys.
No, you're good. I got 3 of those things, so don't worry. What kind of dog you got?
Yeah, that's why I was a couple minutes late to the bathroom.
Oh, Amber is back. Emma is back. Any luck?
Hello?
Hello. Any luck at all?
Hi, sorry, just testing one more time. Can everyone
Oh.
hear me?
We can hear you.
Can definitely hear you.
Okay, great.
Yeah, we can hear you.
So I've been trying to pair my iPad to my the other computer that I have, but it's so old, it's just not working. So I'm gonna just draw live, like right here with my iPad, and just show people what I do in the end.
Perfect.
Okay.
I like the problem solving.
Well, I hope whoever's alien here that I'm drawing, they like long fingers, you know? They're long finger fans.
Definitely love long fingers.
Something about this guy's tinfoil hat really spoke to me, you know? I couldn't.
Hard not to appreciate a good alien what would you call it? Conspiratist?
Well, is he a conspiratist, or is it because he's an alien he's proving conspiratist
Ah,
right? You know, is he showing up?
Good
in-
question. Good
Yeah,
question. I think that's-
Is he
that's
gonna
fine
be
with
with? Yeah, when he shows up, is he gonna be like, hey, what's up to all my tinfoil hat brothers? You know.
TFB. Matt, you're like way ahead.
Dang.
Oh, sweet Matt, killing it, dude.
Because I can't see what anyone else is doing.
No distractions. Nice.
Focused.
And this is a loose interpretation of
Of a moonbird. So actually, I'm curious for you guys who were watching today, what were some of the kind of takeaways or things that stuck out?
I think like what really caught me by surprise, if anything, was sort of the last talk you guys had there, where you were talking about and I'm gonna butcher it now, but it's like the dark cloud or whatever it was. I wrote it down. I just can't remember names off the top of my head. But that the system for basically adding more onto the NFT as time passes, in order to like launch more and more chapters or set things up. Obviously, that like spoke direct to me as someone who likes things in episodes and things in like chapters and parts and pieces. To be able to sort of circumnavigate the finality of sort of an NFT, even though that's some of the charm of it. I like that you can add to it, that you can build it up over time and have some more stuff going on with it. I think that's a really cool concept to bring to the space, and I'm curious and excited to see how people use something like that.
Yeah,
it opens up a lot of things. So
it's really cool too.
But otherwise, I enjoyed a lot of the talks. Just it's cool just to get to know a lot of these creators, put faces to names. Because I think there's a lot of, oh, hey, I've seen this name on the Discord, I've seen this name on Twitter or anything like that, and then when you actually see the person, it sort of connects a lot of other things in my brain, at least. So it was definitely cool to get to see everybody.
If my audio is working, because I know it's spotty. One thing that I was the idea that it's not like are the non-creative people or that there are storytellers and that there aren't storytellers. That's what we are as that's problem solving creatures. So everybody's got ideas. It's people who have decided that they're artists, the ability to tell stories. I mean, we've all got stories and ideas in our heads. So
yeah,
definitely
opens that door up a little bit. Like you don't have to have the to be able to contribute and tell stories.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head there, dude. Like, storytelling is what differentiates us from every other living thing on the planet. Nothing else tells stories, just humans. So I definitely think that we all have it in us somewhere. At least even just to digest and process stories. It's like definitely what like we function on a very base level of learning and passing on anything. So yeah, I think that's like a fascinating part, and that it does open up, so because I think people do feel constricted as like, just like you're saying, oh, I'm not an artist, oh, I'm not a writer, therefore I'm not a storyteller. But storytelling comes in many, many different forms, so yeah, no, that's definitely a good takeaway.
Yeah, totally.
I think that that's so true, that storytelling comes in different forms, especially art forms. Like this week I actually went to see, there's this huge festival in Vancouver called VIFF, and I saw Michael Abels, who composed the music for Get Out, Nope, and Us. And he talked a lot about how composing music is like storytelling is what's so essential to composing music, because it has to have everyone wants to know the beginning of something and the end of something. That really stuck with me. So yeah, I totally agree that storytelling comes in so many different forms.
No doubt. Yeah, the music aspect is huge. Actually, as a matter of fact, as weird as it sounds, whenever I do layouts for a comic book or comic page, um, the very first pass that I do from a script to panels is actually just doing the paneling. And when I'm doing that on little tiny thumbnails, I am actually thinking of it as a rhythm. I'm actually thinking of it as like literally like in my head, it's an audible thing. You know, like I can hear the snares and the bass and everything and the hi-hats and everything like that just based on my layouts of the panels. And that's sort of how I start. And I tend to think a lot musically about what I do on a page. You know, I think of different elements as different sort of pieces of a piece of music, because I think that honestly also music is like the purest form of storytelling. You know, like you can strike one note, you know, and it will do something, you know, whether that's like a low note or a high note, it will do something to the people that are listening to it. And I think that that's just absolutely fascinating. Um,
That's so true.
yeah. Yes. I started off, I think my storytelling path started in music. You know, I used to, when I was young, I used to listen to, well, I still do listen to a lot of rap and hip hop. And I used to want to be that kind of performer. But then, you know, obviously I just didn't have the talent for it. I wasn't putting in the hours of practice for it. And innately, I eventually found that what I liked in everything, comics, movies, hip hop, everything was, it all came back down to the storytelling. And that's where I sort of found that I wanted to be a storyteller, not an artist. Um, so, you know, that was a big leap for me, and it might sound really weird to people, but I do think of things musically even though I'm just drawing pictures. So
That's so cool how it's translated into music for you. That's really cool. Thanks for sharing that.
yeah, no problem.
That is cool. That's definitely a new perspective for me. He'll put on um, he'll put on music when he's writing, inspired
Mhm.
from the music he's listening to, which is not really how I work. So that idea, 'cause it's not something that my brain just doesn't work that way. Getting inspired, I'll actually get more inspired from listening to like a podcast or something, like some thing, and it'll be like, oh, that's a cool idea, and then I'll just my brain will take off from there.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I think a lot of my ideas just in story aspects, a lot of those just come from things I don't like. Like if I just see something, I'm like, man, I don't like that. A better version of that would be this, you know, and then that sort of sends me down this path of essentially reworking an entire thing, which by the end it ends up not even being at all where that started. So
I feel like that's such fertile ground for
Yeah,
for unique
yeah.
storytelling though. It's like, oh, I love this thing, but I hate how they did that. Like I could do
Yeah.
that differently. Or
Definitely. And my wife, you know, she hates that I love to watch bad stuff, but I'm so fascinated by things that are bad because I'm like, if they pull this off, it's gonna be incredible. You know, she's like, no, this is a bad show. This is terrible. It's not going well. I'm like, no, but you know, it is terrible, but you know, if they're able to pull this off, it's gonna be crazy. And,
I need
and
an
they rarely
example.
do.
I need an example. Wait.
Man, so one comes off the top of my head. I there's this show, it's like it was like a New Zealand show. I think it was called like something like Top of the Lake or something like that. There's like some mystery about this woman who comes, she's a cop, you know, on the mainland, and she goes to this island, and she essentially, like, you know, it's her hometown, and she ends up, you know, she's been away for a while, and she ends up sort of happening upon this mystery as she's there. So she sort of connects with the local police department and tries to like help them, you know, figure it out or whatever, because she's like a big detective on the mainland. But and I don't even know if I remember this because it's been a while. but in the end, like none of the clues they laid actually led to the guy who did it. You know? It's like in the last episode, they're basically like, "Oh, is this guy over here?" And it's like, "Wait, what? Why this guy? Like, where did he come from?" Kind of thing. And it was just this like convoluted mess of different characters and all their past and everything like that. And I was just, you know, my wife tuned out at like episode 3. She has a 3-episode rule. If it doesn't catch her on the 3rd episode, she's out. So she was out. But it was a mini series. I think it was like 7 or 8 episodes, and I like went all the way in, and I stayed up all night watching it because I was like, no, this is bad. But if they pull this off, it's gonna be fantastic. You know, it just didn't do it for me. You know, I was like, okay, there we go. All right, never mind. And inevitably, I came into bed at like 6 in the morning. You know, after staying up all night watching this thing, and my wife asked me, "Oh, so how'd it go?" Nah, you're right. You know, she's like, "All right."
I knew it.
Yep.
That's awesome.
I mean, like, in defense of watching terrible shit, like, I think that is when that kind of stuff, you're more likely to see something like actually shocking and surprising, like, wow, I cannot believe they did that. And like the rest of the whole movie or show or whatever can be absolutely terrible. Like, there's that like nugget of inspiration there, and you can be like, that's actually kind of genius.
Yeah.
You can like
I think-
file that away in your little
Yeah, I think that there's like a lot of things that like start off as a great premise, like an excellent idea, but then like they just didn't know where to go with it, or they just didn't plan far enough ahead, or you know, I think a lot of things suffer sort of from like first season-itis, you know, where like they essentially like had a season in them, you know, they pitched this show, they had this really great idea, and they were thinking like, hey, let's just make sure we tell this story tight, you know? And then near the end of the season, like, hey, you're gonna get a season 2. And they're like, oh crap, let me just how about we add this stuff and let's sort of start rolling this out or whatever. And some shows just end up seeming like that. And I'm just like, wow, like you had a great idea for a season, and then, you know, they asked you to do it again and you could
It's like the Lost disorder. It's
oh
like,
yeah.
It's like, this is cool. We'll figure out how it works later. And it's like, we forgot to figure it out.
later.
But
yeah. Oh,
like,
this is the last episode.
But like in defense of shows like that, it's like some of those later season Lost episodes are like so good. Like,
yeah.
I mean, like, I was worth it. I'm glad I watched it.
Yep.
So
yeah, Lost has a special place in my heart. Actually, I think there's some magic there.
I definitely agree.
It was so kind of groundbreaking at the time too. Just
Yeah,
like, so-
exactly.
right.
Yeah.
And then I think, as much as I love J.J. Abrams, I think his mystery box has gotten away from him at times. But,
Yeah, unfortunately, to say the least.
And I think inevitably, I think a lot of problems too with shows do end up being like poor planning, you know, and stories in general that just like sort of kind of don't fizzle out. It's just like you had a great idea, but you didn't take the time to sit down and go, well, where does this end, you know, and how do I connect this awesome beginning to like this awesome end? I think they get in the throes of like, we'll figure it out as we go along, and then they figure out some really awesome stuff here and there, but you know, does that actually work with what you should have been planning towards? I don't know.
right.
Again, I watch those things to the end too, because again, if when I'm like, man, this can't work.
Do it, and you're giving people a lot of credit. I like it though.
Yeah. Hey, I'm like, hey, this can't work, you know.
Yeah.
I gotta watch it. I've always thought that the idea of just having like a studio should just have like some regular guy on retainer or something like that or like on paid via escrow, and his only job is just to sit in the room and go, yeah, that's kind of dumb. Like that should be his job, and he has no worry of getting fired, you know. So he just like sits in the room and tells his honest opinion of like, I don't know, man. That sounds kind of dumb. He's not there to give any insight on how to fix it. He's not there to like do anything. He's just there to be like, I don't get that. I don't know.
Although I think they do have that with like focus groups. It doesn't always work out.
Well, that's true, but that's like a committee, you know. I'm saying like
That's
one
true.
guy. You're gonna pay one dude. You know, yeah. You're gonna pick the middle of the room guy.
Like, did this pass the Fred test?
Yeah, exactly. How about you, Evan? You like any bad stuff? Any bad stuff lately?
Bad stuff. The only thing that comes to mind, like, I'm not a big reality show person, but I am kind of addicted to Ink Master.
Okay.
That's my little reality show, dirty little secret.
That's the tattoo competition one.
The tattoo competition one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's
How often do they like totally mess up someone's tattoos?
I mean, not as much as you would fear, but more
Yeah.
than you would be happy. Like, now that there's like a bunch of seasons now, and I gotta go, like, your chances of getting something decent to good is pretty good, but your chances of getting something awful that you're then stuck with for the rest of your life, worse than I be prepared for.
Like, it's not zero, which is what you would want it to be.
Definitely not zero. Yeah.
Definitely not zero. All right, I have a reality TV show confession. My wife and I also like extremely terrible trash TV. So about 4 seasons ago, middle of the pandemic, my wife had one of her friends living with us as a roommate, and they sucked me into The Bachelorette. And
no.
I have been thick into The Bachelorette for like 4 seasons now, man. I'm fascinated every season. It's like, to me, the fascinating part about that show is seeing the point when these people start believing their own BS. You know, it's like, that guy just crossed the line. The bubble's got this dude, you know, like he's now believing the crap that he's talking about, you know, and yeah, we have a good laugh watching The Human Experiment.
That was
those shows.
similar but a little different. Have you guys heard of F-Boy Island?
I
don't really watch reality either, but I got sucked into that during the pandemic, and like I was listening to a interview with Nikki Glazer, she's a comedian host, and she's talking about it, and she's like, it's 100% real because these people are stuck on an island. They have no cell phones and nothing to do other than talk about their feelings. So like, because whenever my girlfriend watches Bachelorette, and whenever I'm like, how can they believe this shit? And it's just like, because they have literally nothing else. They're being paid to be literally nothing else but talk about how they feel about Rebecca today or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, some of those reality TV shows actually have excellent writing, you know? Like, they actually have great writing, so...
I mean, they definitely know how to keep you hooked for the most part.
Yeah.
Certainly know how to do a cliffhanger.
I was watching Riverdale a while ago. It was great. I mean, it was great in the sense that it was just like, it just, I don't even know how to describe it. It was just, I don't know, like I just would watch it with my family a lot, and it was just, some of the writing was just so bad, but you just can't look away.
Yeah, it's
just kind of like that.
yeah, that's what we love, is just like the debauchery, you know? It's like, okay, well, let's just go ahead and see where this goes off the rails.
Yeah.
I think that's also something a family can all like rally behind too, you know, is how terrible something is, you know? So
haven't watched Riverdale. I've just kind of heard that it's like it's not even that it's necessarily bad. It just like goes so far from it departs so far from where it started. Like
Yeah.
people are like killing each other, and it's like, but they're still all in high school. It's like, how could that work?
It's supposed to be like Archie, yeah.
Yeah.
That actually makes me want to watch it.
Our guilty pleasure is which is
What?
I don't know if you've
You
seen
broke
it.
up there, dude.
Great British Bake.
Oh,
Just
Great
so-
British Bake Off is my
Oh,
jam,
that's just great
dude.
TV.
Oh, dude, wholesome TV,
Bake
man. This is
Oh,
not
nice.
trash TV.
Yeah.
That is like the most wholesome TV possible, man. I love that show. Yeah.
Oh, it's great. Yep.
This is just my old man rant about like cooking shows or like cooking shows and like especially travel ones. It's like no one on those shows knows how to talk about food. You know, it's like a show like Somebody Feed Phil, and you're like watching this celebrity go around get world class cooking. He's like, tasty. I'm like, fuck you. Like, I want to do that. Tell me about it. Like that's what I
Yeah.
love about Bake Off is like Paul Hollywood and Pruitt. They're so good at describing, and you know, it's like amateur level baking, but it's like it feels like you're there and you totally understand it. It's like I feel like that's such a rare skill on TV
Underproved and
to like
overbaked.
talk about food in a way that a viewer can actually like glean something from, which I think is super special about that show. Yeah.
Definitely. And
Sunny
honestly, every
bottom.
time we watch that show, every time we watch an episode, we have to bake or make something in the house. We always like bake or make something while we're watching the show because it makes us want to, you know.
Oh, that's
nice.
cool.
So I drew Lady Valor.
Oh yeah. Let's see.
Yeah. It's like the zombie girl, but like I don't know if everyone can see it properly.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Taylor, that's
I
awesome.
love it. That's really awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. I've been trying out like watercolor recently.
That
Yeah.
is sick.
Thank you.
That is badass.
Yeah. Shout out to that the profile picture is from part of the Dead Town series, right?
Yes, it is.
Mhm.
Okay. Shout out to Dead Town then.
Woohoo.
And Lady Valor.
And Lady Valor.
Yeah.
Oh, something I didn't say at any time today. So little alpha for anyone that's interested. We put in a limited edition reverse hat into the Dead Town collection for the weekend. So if anybody wants their reverse swag, that's where it is.
Nice.
Are all really, really awesome.
Whose alien is this?
I'm loving the drawing.
I want to know whose alien I've got. If anybody is watching, I have to go look again.
That looks really dope.
Yeah, I've been having fun with all these like beat tone brushes, do like cross hatching and all this stuff.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Oh, that's Lady Valor's alien too. Lady Valor, that's your zombie also? She didn't answer that. If that's your zombie also, then hey, awesome. Double whammy. Oh, yep. Nice. Oh, let's see this. Oh man, yeah, that's awesome. Tinfoil hat is coming alive.
Yeah. Sorry if I'm clickety clacking in everybody's ears here too. By the way, I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Little ASMR, keyboard ASMR. for you.
All right, so we talked about the guilty pleasures. What are you guys liking in the geekdom world at the moment?
I recently watched Our Flag Means Death, which is phenomenal.
That was great.
You guys have seen that. Yeah.
Does The Boys count?
Oh hell yes!
Okay. I watched that this summer, and it was a lot of scenes really caught me off guard. That's all I'm gonna say. But you know, the writing is really good, though. I really like it.
Yeah, no,
Hell yeah.
it's so good. Yeah, great example of a show that could only exist in the current media landscape, but it's great.
Yeah.
I'm sort of Fire and Ice and Game of Thrones. Enjoying both of them. Maybe Game of Thrones a little bit more.
The new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying both of them as well. It's funny. I actually think I'm kind of entering as a power a little bit more, only because I will say there's something about Game of Thrones that, because I like the first season so much until the end, that there's just the theme song makes me happy. But it's I feel like they're stuck a little bit in Game of Thrones felt so big, and this feels so small. Such a small world comparatively, and so basically all we have to talk about is there can't be a woman king, can there? No.
I know.
So it's there's some really cool stuff in it, but that's mostly what the plot is.
Yeah, it's
I
like
haven't
that would have
watched
been
either
a D
yet.
plot in this actual show.
I haven't watched either yet. I watched the first season of Game of Thrones, and I read the first book, and then I watched the first season, and then I was in that mode of well, do I watch season 2 or do I read book 2? And then I never did either. So, and then I never did either, and I for one think that George R.R. Martin is a genius for letting HBO write the end of his show for him, and then getting the feedback. Because now, whenever he decides, if he ever decides to do that, he can turn around and go, no, that's not what I wanted to do, and do something else. So,
totally.
or if it would have worked, he probably would have just been like, yeah, that's exactly what I would have wanted.
What I meant to do.
Yeah. Genius, in my opinion.
Oh, that's dope, boy. Love it.
Thanks, man. I had fun. Hopefully, whoever's alien this is likes the weird stuff I added to it. I don't know. I kind of got him creeping along, so I don't know what the.
That's awesome. Like the flip flops.
I thought that would add to sort of just some of the weirdness there as he's flopping along. So. All right. Has everybody grabbed all of the ones off of there already, or are there any more still available?
I doubt it. There's got to be a couple more.
Okay. Did an alien guy. Let's do one of these zombies. So far, only one of the zombies have been done. Just the lady. I'm gonna take this guy. I guess. I'm gonna do the mustache or the missing eye.
Life's dilemmas.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm gonna do the missing eye guy. We'll try that one now. A bit of advice for any creators out there: remember to save.
Yes.
Hit that little save button.
Save frequently, save often.
I just realized I went through that whole drawing and I didn't save. So.
Did anybody see what's it called? It's I'm doing a real big advertising push for it. It's a sci-fi film.
What movie? I'm sorry. Did you say the title? I might have missed it. What did you say it was called?
Vesper.
Vesper. No, I haven't. Haven't seen it.
Wow, I haven't heard of it.
I haven't even heard of it. Yeah.
Oh, it looks pretty cool. It's
Do you know who's in it?
It's one of those. I think it's an indie, no name cast.
Oh, cool.
And they
Sweet. Even better.
I think the world gets seeded or spored or something with aliens, kills all of our flora and fauna, and it's about I think it's about a kid world and finding. God, I'm probably so wrong about this, but just from the teaser, like old world tech that maybe will be the. Looks really cool. I mean, like, kind of like unlike.
You're cutting in and out a little bit, Matt. I think that sounds dope.
Yeah, it sounds a little bit like Last of Us if it's got like that spore sort of thing. That that wasn't aliens, but you know. I think we all sort of the nature turning against us sort of situation would be a bad situation for anybody, I think. But I don't know, like really like okay, so let's have this nerd conversation. We're doing zombies and all that stuff. What is the worst thing? What is the worst apocalypse? Like what is worst case scenario? Like we're definitely screwed. Like what do you guys think?
Other than the climate,
It could be the climate, I guess.
Other than the one we're living through.
No. I'm saying the fake ones, not the real one. We're not talking about the real threat here. We're talking about the fake threats. I would volunteer to say that I think the worst would be xenomorphs. Would definitely be aliens invading because they have acid blood. So even like killing them, they're like bleeding.
Xenomorph aliens.
Yeah, those I think would be the worst case scenario. If you guys know what I'm talking about, it's like the aliens from Alien.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
So I think the zombies from World War Z, like the marathon running.
Oh, yeah.
Like if that ever happened, it would be game over for me in like 5 seconds.
Right. Yeah, if anybody's running out there like Usain Bolt, I'm definitely getting caught. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've been like totally like nerding out or fangirling over the Last of Us HBO show.
I haven't
Oh,
seen the
yeah.
show yet. Yeah, I haven't seen
It's
the show
not
yet.
it's not out yet, but it's about to be, right?
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
okay.
same writer and showrunner of Chernobyl, which makes me want to see it even more.
That's exciting.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been laughing with my friends about like how I've been seeing like a lot of the fans on like YouTube in the comment section. They're saying stuff like, I hope the show, like the writers scrap the script for the second video game and rewrite it over again. People were so mad about the second video game.
I have a PlayStation, so I have Xbox, so I never played it. But it looked, I was regretted not playing it.
Yeah, I've never played it either, but the show looks like it's gonna be great.
You probably watched like I've watched a ton of gameplay of that game, just YouTube streamers, but never actually, you know.
I played through the first one. I didn't pick up the second one and play the second one. It was one of those like I enjoyed the first one so much, and I sort of saw the preview for the second one. I was like, we don't really need to go there. I was like, I'm good. I like this, and I'm okay. I can step off there. So, I have no complaints about the second one. I just never played it. So.
Yeah.
Is anyone playing anything now that they're thinking is like the jam?
I was very late to the party, but pretty recently finished Breath of the Wild and then have been replaying it on Master Mode.
Oh, nice. Great game.
Yeah,
Great game. Yeah. It's like, I love that game, and I definitely I did every shrine. My nephew visited for like 10 weeks, and like he was going to Georgia Tech here in Atlanta, and he didn't want to leave his Switch in his dorm room, so he left it at my wife and I's house. And then so during the week when he wasn't coming over, I was like just running through the game as much as I could, and ended up beating it all the way because I thought, hey, I'm not going to get a Switch if I can just play this.
Right.
Every Nintendo machine I've ever bought is just like a X amount of dollar Zelda machine.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, this will save me some money. I won't have to buy this thing. And my wife ended up not beating it, so we ended up buying a Switch so that in the time that he was here. It was such a fantastic game, but there's an element to it that I think was sort of kind of missing just in the classic Zelda sense, and that's just nostalgia for me. I don't think that it would have made the game any better or anything like that. But Zelda always had like such a great like item puzzle progression, where like as you go through the game, sections you hit that you're just like, oh hey, okay, cool, I can get this far in this secret area, but I can't quite get this thing, and you don't know how to actually do it or what it is that's going to get you there. But then like later on in the game, you end up getting some kind of item that like you're like, oh, this is that thing that gets me across that thing. And
right.
And and they had always had such a great sort of scaling of the bosses and those items. You always knew like, hey, okay, this next boss is basically I'm going to use like every item I've acquired to this point and plus the new item I just got, kind of thing. And because of Breath of the Wild's like openness, I think you miss out on some of that, because you can literally like turn the game on and run and fight Ganon like right away, like it just as soon as you turn the game on. So I think like just some of that magic for me personally was lost, but I don't actually think that, I don't know if I would qualify that as an actual loss for the game. I think that was just sort of my own personal like taste and experience when walking through those worlds.
Yeah, I can see that. I think it was just like actually I beat that and then went back and played Skyward Sword. I don't know if you guys played that, but they did a Switch release of it, so I got the Switch version. And like also very fun. There's really not a Zelda that I don't like.
Right.
But I thought comparatively, like Breath of the Wild, just the controls are just so phenomenally well tuned that it's just such a good experience for me. It's like just hard not to just keep going back to it.
Yeah, they really hit that level of not making like the stuff you do with the controller seem cheesy in Breath of the Wild, because a lot of those earlier ones with this Wii stuff, it was just like kind of gimmicky with like what you had to do with the Wiimote, to like get it to work or whatever. And definitely Breath of the Wild hit that with a great stride for sure.
Are any of you guys big comic book readers or manga?
I'm currently not in a manga comic book reading phase, but I do go through my stints where I just digest a massive amount of comics and manga when I sit down and do it.
I'm
What
kind of the
comics do
same
you
way.
read? What comics do you read?
Concurrently, I'd say the best thing that I've read in a long while, I really loved oh my god, now I can't remember what it's a Tilly Walden book. I don't know if you're familiar with her work, but she's a webcomic artist that and she publishes her books through sort of First Second.
On a Sunbeam, maybe?
On a Sunbeam. Yeah, that's what it is. On a Sunbeam. That book is like, it's just phenomenal. I mean, I think it just like is a great bit of storytelling from beginning to end. Just the premise and the setup, is just it. And I really enjoy her storytelling through her art and like what she chooses not to draw, because like most of the things that I'm looking at when I'm flipping through those pages and reading it, really there isn't much drawn, like the drawing is sort of secondary to like the storytelling itself, and there's just enough in each panel to like get the message across and be understood by the reader, and then she sort of moves on. So it's like there's not really much fat on that, and it's really lean, but like it really showcases the quality of like the pacing and the storytelling that she's created in the atmosphere that she builds. So I highly recommend that book. It's fantastic.
What was the name again?
It's called On a Sunbeam.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. It's about some girls who the basic premise is about some girls who their job is to go off and fix like derelict space stations. So yeah.
Cool.
I'm currently reading Spinning, but I haven't gotten all the way through that, and that's sort of about it's like a kind of autobiographical about her, I guess, but like it's about a girl who does ballet. So
cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I'd say my
On that
favorite.
zombie topic, she also wrote
You cut off there on the zombie topic.
Go
She
ahead.
wrote what? Sorry. Oh.
Yeah. I was just gonna say Tilly Walden wrote like a standalone Walking Dead comic, and it's actually super dope. And I highly
Awesome.
recommend it for anybody who's
Didn't know that.
interested in her/zombies.
Awesome. I'll have to pick that up.
But I think I maybe cut off what you were saying.
Oh yeah, no worries. I'd say my favorite like comic is probably like Coraline, the graphic novel. And I'd say my favorite
Nice.
manga is Good Night Pun Pun. It's illustrated by Does someone know the manga?
It's super dark. Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
dark. Yeah.
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 You don't strike me as the one that would like that, so that's wow, that's cool.
Oh, you should see
Yeah.
our comic. It's
Okay, fair.
We're
Fair.
going.
Did,
Yeah.
did you
I'll
say I
have, I'll
don't?
have to check it out then. Yeah.
Did you say I don't seem like someone who'd read that?
Yeah, you just don't strike. You seem very cheery, at least on the stream, all smiles. So it doesn't. You
Yeah.
don't strike me as the person who'd go down that road. So that's awesome.
I get that a lot. It's really funny actually. But like
Yeah.
Evan said, you should see my comic. So
Awesome. I'll have to see it then. Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I had to say, based on your zombie drawing, that tracks.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. But Good Night Pun Pun. It's really dark, but the artwork is stunning. It's beautiful. It's really breathtaking. The artist, his name is Inio Asano. And something that I find really cool about his artwork and how he does his backgrounds is he actually takes a photograph of like what backgrounds he wants, and then he edits them to and gives them a really high contrast, so they're black and white, and then I think he illustrates over them and adds his own shades and shading and own details, and it's so cool seeing that process and how it works. Everyone has their own process for getting things done, so yeah.
That's cool.
That is
Yeah.
really cool.
If I was gonna pick a favorite manga, I'd say that my favorite manga of all time, if we're just saying a regular a shonen manga, obviously I'm a big Naruto fan. I love that.
Naruto's great.
Oh, it's so good. There's few things that I've read or watched that I think fundamentally sort of change the way I think about something, and that was definitely one of those stories. And then but non-shonen sort of thing, I'd have to say my favorite is this book called Kaku Kaku Shikajika, which is this it's done by Higashimura, and it's basically also sort of semi-biographical. It's basically just her story of how she learned from this one guy how to do art, and he kind of taught her everything she knew, but she wanted to do comics, and he saw no value in comics to a certain extent. So she would kind of do it in secret. And then when it started to take off, he kind of sees that value in it, and he not that he sees that she has a passion for it and sort of tries to teach him. But it's kind of sad because since it's autobiographical, she sort of explains that as I don't want to spoil anything, but things don't quite work out, just how they don't always quite work out in life. But I think there were just a lot of similarities in that story and in the telling of it that were similar to sort of my own path and finding my mentor and everybody and the people who taught me everything that I know, so it sort of is just one of those stories has a moral of hey, sort of just give people their flowers while they're here sort of situation. And to I like your standard run-of-the-mill manga and comics and all of that stuff, but I think I've read so much of that stuff in my life that really what I try to find is anything that's oddly different or just on a subject that I'm not so familiar with, or just a different setup for the characters or premise or anything like that. I think that's what I'm digging about spinning, because it's about a little girl taking ballet, and I have no I've never had an experience with ballet. I've never anything like that, but it is well told, so I think that's what I'm always looking for, is a good story well told. So.
Very cool.
I think that's one of the most magical things about manga and anime is it feels like they have so much more room for unconventional stories and storytelling that we don't often get in America outside of an HBO show.
Right.
It's you're never going to get an American comic about ballet. Yeah. Maybe that's being too hard on American comics.
Well, you certainly wouldn't have. I think we have.
Yeah, you wouldn't have. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
New platforms now, but yeah.
Yeah, Tilly Walden. Her book is she is American and it is about
That's
ballet.
true.
But, I mean, you know, she is influenced by manga and stuff like that, and she comes from webcomics, right? So it's not like your traditional comics publishing market.
Yeah.
And I think that webcomics have opened that up for everybody because they have such a large a lot of people that do webcomics have such a large manga and anime influence, and I think that's opened up the doors for people to do multiple different things, you know?
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
and I have a 6-month-old son, so I know that like Bluey and certain things are sort of in my future here soon. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Heard really good things about Bluey. Like,
So have I, man. So have I.
Yeah.
Literally, adults have been telling me how much they enjoy it. You know.
yeah.
So yeah. There's a couple down the street that literally had their kid like a week before we had our kid, just
Wow.
serendipitously. And so they, you know, the dad there was telling me, he's like, man, actually, like, you know, I've been scoping it out ahead of time, and it's actually kind of good. He's like, I'm like halfway through season 1, and I was like, oh, okay, that's how we're doing this then. And he's just watching it himself, you know, at this point. Like the kid isn't watching it yet, so
That's
He's gonna
hilarious.
be so disappointed when he's like, you know, I don't know, boy or girl, but they won't watch it with me.
yeah. He has a boy, and yeah, it's gonna be adventures of parenting. I guess it's my first, and you know, I'm going through the motions, figuring it all out as I go.
That's all anyone can do.
I've been getting dad advice from Evan over there every once in a while. I've been tapping in and getting the lowdown. So
Man, I think where you've gone with this oddity is pretty fantastic.
oh, dude, yeah, sweet man.
Matt, what are you doing over there? Matt Stevens. Going nuts.
This is a splash story I'm
Whoa.
working on. Is my audio okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So this is a little just called Scapegoat. It's just like witches and demons, and you know.
Your run of the mill
It was
witches
one of
and
those-
demons. Is that
it's like
right?
yeah,
Oh, now you are cutting in and out a little.
popped
Yeah,
into
you
my
are cutting
head.
out now.
Oh, what's wrong with my? It's just one of those ideas that.
It sounds like you're cussing a ton, is what it sounds like. It sounds like you're just It's like cutting off at the perfect time for him, you know.
Yeah. He's back.
Yo.
Hello.
Better audio or no?
Oh, there we go.
Yep.
I think so.
I don't know what's going on tonight. Yeah, the story I'm working on in between projects, called
Ah,
based on a real thing, actual historical thing, maybe even biblical, where people would like attach their skin, their sin, and like escape. It was attached their sins to goats and lead them away from. So it's a story that I learned that fact, and
I still only caught about half of it, but something about skin and goats and sins.
Yeah, it sounds like someone attaching their. If I got that right, it's like people attach their sins to a goat and then like sacrifice the goat. Is that where I'm? Is that where I'm getting that? All right, cool. I got it. We're on. Yeah, that's cool.
And then I think it says something about people that you hear that story and you go, I gotta draw that.
Yeah. I've thought about attaching my sins to a goat. I don't know about y'all.
This needs to make it to a wider audience right now.
Yeah.
Evan, I drew Dean. That's what I've been spending my time on.
Nice. I
Here, I'll show everyone.
was hoping that you might make it.
There.
Nice.
Nice.
So cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's one of the characters in my comic. Yeah. But yeah, thought that would be cool to draw.
Love it. All right, let's see this zombie. Nice. Oh. Glad I was here for the grand finale.
Yeah, spicing it up a little bit there at the end.
That's amazing. Love it.
I had fun with it. I'm in a silly mode, so I apologize to not really drawing everybody's like hardcore, but like I'm just having fun, like making them wacky. So
Yeah, it's great.
So I see that that Matt and Matt are both using like Clip Studio. You guys have been using that for a long time, or are you guys early adapters, or what? You guys?
I'm actually Photoshop. I wish
Oh,
I
is that
could
Photoshop?
use.
Okay. Sorry,
Yeah.
your screen's small on mine, so I couldn't. See.
Yeah, totally. I've been meaning to learn Clip Studio for a long time. For one main reason is I've heard that like doing your color flats is way easier.
Way easier.
But yeah,
that's
I just
what got
haven't-
me over too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like super early adopter of it. I actually started using it when it was still like where before Sun Microsystems had bought it out to make it,
No way.
the American version. So they there was just the Japanese version. I actually had my wife, my studio mate, and I were using it. I've been using it for like 11 years now. So, but like when it first came out, we got hip to it. Someone from Japan actually put us on, and so they're like, oh, you should check this program out. And we got a copy, and it was all in Japanese, and we had no idea like what to do with the program. So my wife actually speaks and reads and writes Japanese. Her family's from Japan, so we sort of literally had her like over the course of like 2 weeks, literally like write out what every menu item said. So that we would know like what the menus were and how to like do anything at all.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And so that's how we started. Both of us like in front of our Cintiqs on the wall, we had like the written out like guide as to like what every menu item actually said and what it was supposed to be. And a lot of fun of that was like the words didn't quite translate right. And my wife is not an artist at all, never used Photoshop, never used any of that stuff. So a lot of it was just like direct translation. And we're like, oh, I guess this means that, you know, or I guess that they meant this by that, you know, kind of thing. And it was a trip, but it quickly we really realized like how much easier it was and just natural it felt drawing in the program versus Photoshop. I was big in Photoshop beforehand, and you know, it's just like that and the flatting, like you said, you know, was like a quick conversion for us. You know, we're like, okay, that saves us a lot of time. Let me just like try that out. And early on too, I think the company was paying really close attention to the forums. Because we used to use Paint Tool Sai sometimes. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that program, but yeah, it's sort of like an earlier version of that, of Clip Studio, kind of, or at least Clip Studio came along and sort of took everything that Paint Tool Sai had and actually put it into their program. But on those forums, there was sort of a Clip Studio Paint forum, and you know, there were devs for the program in that forum, and it was like pretty phenomenal to like be able to go in there and go, hey, has anybody found this in the program yet? You know, and then like a week later there's an update and then that thing has been added, you know, sort of to the program and everything. So wow. It was pretty awesome. They were really awesome. Responsive with that early on.
Yeah, I dig it too. I've mostly used Procreate for just kind of quicker drawing on the iPad, but if I'm doing anything serious, it's going back to Clip Studio.
Yeah, I love Procreate as well. You know, I just don't have an iPad or Mac to run it, so you know, I'm SOL on that one, right? Because I think it's still Mac exclusive.
It's actually still iPad only.
iPad only, yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Nice.
So we got this dude, and then I got.
Love it.
Two totally different things from one another, which is the fun. Yeah.
Has anybody else seen any Andor?
Have not watched it yet. It's a full season thing for me. I'll have to.
Yeah, it's a first season, and actually it's a big season. They're doing like 13 or something like that.
Oh wow. Okay.
I don't want to be a hater, but it's definitely like the best of the Star Wars shows, which is a really low bar in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't watched that, and I won't. And no offense to the creators, or whatever, but I won't watch Pennyworth, man. I can't do it. I'm not. I can't do it.
Yeah.
It's only because
don't-
like I think. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say everything's a prequel. Like even as much as I love Andor, it's like a prequel to a prequel.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
come on.
Right.
It's like-
Right. Yeah. I just don't.
Same
You
with
know, like
Pennyworth.
yeah, with the Pennyworth thing, you know, it's like there was some intrigue for me to even be interested in it all at first because they allude to some of like sort of and I'm sure they got into it at some point of Alfred's like military background or whatever before he became the butler, and so I was like, okay, when I heard about it, I was like, okay, cool. Here's their chance to do something different than what they've been doing recently or whatever, and just in the preview, I saw that like he seems to be Batman before Batman existed, and I'm like, well, like what are we doing here, guys? Like he looks like he's like fighting off all kinds of like supervillains and all kinds of whatever in Britain, 40 years before Batman's even born, kind of thing, and it's kind of like, dude, like takes away sort of from the specialness, of like the actual original character. I think so. I can't do it.
Yeah, not interested at all. Did you guys watch Peacemaker?
I did watch Peacemaker.
Actually, really liked it.
Yeah, that was great. That was fantastic, and just it was really good.
Like that finale episode is like probably the hardest I've ever laughed at a superhero.
Well, I think like that show showcases that literally no one is under the illusion that they're doing something different than what they're actually doing. Like they all full and well know what they're doing, and everybody's having a good time. So. It's like sometimes I see a show where I'm like, man, this actor missed the memo, like it's supposed to be silly and this guy's like super serious, That's like what was the Snow White movie with Charlize Theron and Kristen Stewart, It's like no one informed Charlize that like this movie was like B at best, like no one told her. So she's like acting her butt off in every scene and everything. And then it's like, you're out of place in this film, It's so. And I guess maybe
that
that's
was a
like,
weird movie.
Oh, it's a super weird movie. It's one of those bad ones that I just had to watch, And
It like weirdly has some awesome scenes though.
It does. It has some awesome scenes, some awesome design. Like some of her
So
dresses
over.
and like the costume design in that is like phenomenal, But again, no one told the costume designer like, hey, we're not really doing that here,
Yeah.
It's funny when that kind of stuff like comes along. But that also is kind of like what makes like a sort of like Michael Caine one of my favorite actors of all time, because he sort of like kind of feels out the room as to like what the level of acting is, and he just acts like a little bit better than everybody else. It's not like going to go too far down the line. He just like is like, oh, okay, cool. So what we're doing is like a B movie. Cool. I'll do like a B plus. Like that's where he comes in, and I enjoy that. So.
Yeah.
Here I've been talking to myself on mute. Like, nobody's answering. Yeah, really great stuff, guys. I love where these have come out. People will be psyched.
Yeah, everybody's stuff is dope.
Yeah.
It's a great collection, man.
Great, really cool. Awesome. Well, I don't know how you guys are feeling, but I think I'm going to wrap up in a few minutes. And then I think if there's any last touches you want to make to these guys, go ahead. Feel free to do so. But then if you don't mind just emailing me some kind of a high-res JPEG, I'll get them minted and sent out.
Sounds dope.
It'll be fun. And of course, give me, I think I have most of it, but when you send them to me, give me your socials too, so I can make sure we let people know who this delicious gift has come from. Awesome. Yeah, really great stuff. I think Lady Valor was the big winner with both the zombie and their alien here.
Man, that one turned out incredible.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, that came out great, man.
And I love this guy.
Wow, it's fantastic, man. The route,
The Ratatouille zombie.
Yeah, it's so good. So good. Awesome, you guys. Well, really appreciate you guys tuning in today, hanging out today. Amba, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll learn more about Amba's comic tomorrow afternoon. We'll learn more about Matt's comics tomorrow afternoon. We'll learn more about Hoyt's comics tomorrow afternoon. And we're gonna schedule a Dino Baby spotlight as well after this weekend. So anyone that is watching this, the alpha is we're gonna keep these sessions going after the weekend as well, because it's been such fun talking to everybody. So more Reverse events to come, and especially as you're closing in on the first issue, let's get into it.
Yeah,
very
can't
cool.
wait to share.
Yeah, awesome. So thanks, guys. Really, again, appreciate you guys hanging out, and I think this will be fun to delight some people with these drawings. Really appreciate it.
No problem, man. It was
you
my
so
pleasure, man.
much.
Thank you so much for
Thanks.
having us. Yeah.
It's awesome drawing with everybody.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Meeting everybody and talking with everybody. Really appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
have to do it again sometime.
definitely.
All right, guys. Have a great rest of your night.
Have
You
a good
too.
night. Bye.
Everybody.